What made you get into acting?
So I'm kind of like one of those people. I just always knew. I think I was always a performer from when I was a little girl, but I think I was 9 and I was hanging out with my cousin, and she told me that, the people we see on TV, that's their job. Like, you can go to school, get an education as an actor, and then earn a living. So from that day onward, I was just like, I'm going to be an actor. So I always knew I was going to go to theater school and then become a Hollywood actress.
Yeah, so obviously you've just been Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy game. How did that role come about?
Well, I got an audition request from my agent, and I had always wanted to do video game work because I think it's so fascinating. Like, I'm not a crazy gamer, but I grew up playing video games, and one of my best friends has been doing performance capture with Ubisoft for like a decade. And just from seeing her work, I was just so intrigued, and I wanted to do it because it's like a marriage between film and television. Sorry, film and television, film and theater. Theater is like my background, and film is my one true love. So it's like a nice mix of both. And so I got the audition, didn't know what it was for. I guess I didn't pick up on the cues. The rest of the guys did, but I was like, all right, let's do it. And did my audition. I had a call back, did it again, did a second audition. And then I didn't hear back for a while. And then just got an email out of nowhere, and they wanted me to come in for a screen test. So I got to work with Daryl Purdy, our director, for a full day in the mocap outfit. So it's like, like a black suit with the sensors everywhere. A lot of people think we just did the voice, but we actually did the movement and facial capture as well as the voice. So and then I got cast. So
so I was going to ask how, because obviously you had a director, and there was obviously like a direction they'll have wanted to take the game, but how much input did you have on the way you played the character?
I mean, obviously, when I got the audition, they sent along a backstory. They gave us, some key words and some personality traits and voice quality and things that they were looking for. So I had a general idea of what they were looking for, and then it's just a matter of like what I wanted to bring to the character. Once I found out it was for Gamora, then and also they wanted something different. They didn't want to do, the same interpretation as the movies. They really wanted something fresh because it's a different take on the story, the characters. It's an original story, so it was really important to do something different. That being said, like I just felt like, I mean, the script was so amazing. I just trusted my instincts, and I went with it. For me, it was really important to be one of the guys. I didn't want to be the mom of the group. Because Gamora in a way kind of scolds them a lot, and she's very determined, and she's on a mission. So it can be quite, there's a trap there where you can be very whiny and kind of like the mom, like, Peter, don't do this, or Rocket, stop yelling. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be like one of the guys and be like a team member, and to arc her so that in the beginning she's quite standoffish and reserved and sort of like not sure about them. And then as they get to know each other and they go through this, she warms up, and then she starts she loosens up a bit and she jokes around, and then so
that is one of the things I loved about the way the story was told throughout a game instead of the film, because you spent longer with the characters. It was so clear the way they evolved, which was really nice.
Well, we got lucky because I think there was 13 hours of cinematic scenes that we shot, which is like 4 movies, you know. We had so much to work with. So, I mean, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I've never in my whole acting career spent so much time with a character.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, that's the longest I've been with a character for sure. So, I mean, you know, in the beginning, it's always a bit, you know, it's always a little clumsy because you're trying to find your character's voice and the way she moves, but you know, 2.5 years later, it's second nature.
So you mentioned the films. Did you use like Zoe Saldana's performance as Gamora and maybe the comics as like inspiration for how you portrayed Gamora?
I mean, I love what she did, and I'm a huge fan of the movies, but Eidos Montreal really, really insisted and reminded us that this was an original take of the Guardians, and to really steer clear from the movies and to really just do our thing. So it was freeing in that way. And so we didn't want to have any kind of comparison. I mean, it's going to happen. The fans are going to compare, but for us, it wasn't on our minds at all. It was really just, this is a standalone project, and how do we want to approach these characters in the story? So I can't say that I drew inspiration because we were told not to. But you know, it was all in the writing, you know. It was so well written, and they're such iconic characters. Like, ultimately, you know, it was all there. It was an easy, not easy, but you know what I mean.
No, I get you. So I was going to ask, actually, you mentioned the motion capture. Was that your first experience with motion capture?
Yeah, it was my first time.
What was that like?
You know, the first time it's a bit weird. You kind of feel self-conscious because you're wearing like this really tight black outfit, and you've got sensors everywhere, and so you can't really sit anywhere, or I mean, you get used to them. And like if you touch someone, you can get stuck to them. So it's a bit weird. And the camera, you have a helmet, and there's like the camera is on a thing in the front of you. That is a bit uncomfortable at first. You know, the light in your face and having a camera there, you're kind of very aware. But you get used to it, and it doesn't really obstruct your view, so you can still see who you're talking to. And you just get used to it. And I mean, it's fun because the second you're in the unit and you start shooting, we had a big screen, and so we could actually see the data. So we were all, you know, little stick figures in different colors. So I knew I was in green, and Alex was in pink. And so I always, every time we started our day, I would start dancing, because then my little stick figure would like start flossing, and so it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds it. So that kind of relates to my next question, because I was going to say, so obviously in the game you're constantly bantering with each other, which is one of the best parts. Like there's you feel like a family. When you did a lot of the voice capture, were you together in the same room?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's actually really rare from what I heard. Usually you do all of that, you do your individual voice work on your own in a booth. But for this, they realized earlier on that it was best if we did it together. Because it's all about the chemistry. Like I sometimes didn't know how I was going to deliver a line until we were doing the scene and I had the other guys to play off of. Because I think the Guardians, I think that the reason why it's so good and so funny is because of the banter and the energy between them. So we knew that, so we recorded, we did everything together, all 5 of us, sometimes 4 if Robert wasn't there, who plays Groot. But in terms of like, you know, getting the right pacing, the right, the right energy, the right tone, like, you know, reactions, because there's so many jokes. So that was really important. We were actually in the mocap studio when we did all of the banter stuff. We did it during COVID, so we were all in the same room but separated. But it was very safe.
That's fair enough. So I also wanted to talk about like towards the end of the game, you have that, Gamora has that very like emotional scene where she talks about Nebula. So I've heard a few actors in like interviews on YouTube say that those kind of scenes can be quite draining. How was your experience with that?
It was draining. Well, you know, we got the scripts, I think 2 weeks ahead of time. So I knew what I was getting myself into, and so I was mentally prepared. And those scenes, because they're so pivotal, there's such important scenes for the character's arc. You know, we took our time with it and we did it a lot. So, you know, off the top of the scene, Gamora is fighting and she's like punching this guy out and she's like not stopping. She's been triggered, let's just say. So we kept doing the scene over and over and over to really make sure that we were hitting all the key moments. And I was actually on the day losing my voice because the emotion was so raw that my voice was cracking. And I'm not a voice actor, and I got really, really self-conscious and worried that I was like, I'm losing my voice. Like, should we stop? Like, I don't want to lose my voice. And Daryl, our director, was like, no, keep going. It's actually working. Lean into it. And it's like a beautiful parallel. Like, my voice was cracking, but in the scene, this is the first time that Gamora is actually cracking. You know, and she's letting herself be known and be seen for the first time, and it's so symbolic in a way. So we ended up using it, and on the day, it was just a matter of trusting that it was all gonna read, because we don't know if everything's gonna translate to the digital world as well. You know, it might feel really good, but will it look good once it's been put into the system? But it worked out, and I was actually quite proud of the scene. But it was draining. It was draining.
No, I imagine it would be. So obviously Gamora is a huge character, especially with like we've talked about, like the movies now and how Marvel's like this huge craze. Was it quite stressful to have that responsibility to kind of a new portrayal of a character that everyone loves?
Honestly, I didn't have that awareness. I think I was just really excited.
Yeah, fair enough.
But also because it wasn't me playing Gamora. It was I was gonna play her in a video game. So I don't know if I had the same sort of awareness. I was just excited. I felt like I won the lottery. And it was kind of like every time I was working, I was like, oh my God, pinch me. Like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, closer to the launch, I got nervous. I got nervous about what fans were going to think. I was nervous about, you know, we sort of did our little bit with the acting, but then there's also the animation, and then the whole look of the game and the gameplay, and there's all of these other departments. So we didn't really know how it was all going to come together. But I think once there was the official reveal and we saw a trailer, I was like, we're good. We're good. Yeah.
That's fair enough. And if they were to do a sequel, I mean, they might be already and might be a secret, but would you obviously come back, do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
I would do this for the rest of my life.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah. It was like the best time. I think, you know, we are a family. Like we all clicked. We had the best team. It's also, like I said, it's a lot of work, but it's also really rewarding. And it was an amazing experience. And so, yeah, I would definitely do it again.
Yeah. And you mentioned when you were younger, you kind of grew up with video games. Do you think this has kind of maybe rebooted that love of games, or is it more just work?
Well, it's kind of like, no, it kind of makes me, you know, look back and be like, wow, you know, I used to play like the, you know, Mario Kart and all those little games, and think it's like, we've come a long way. Like my 9-year-old self would be like mind blown by how far video games have come. But yeah, I'm just not a gamer the way Alex and John are. They're like hardcore gamers, but I enjoy watching them play games. Okay. I tune in on their Twitch and I watch them play.
Yeah. Okay. And so was that also your first experience of voice acting?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Do you think, do you maybe have a preference between voice acting and on-screen acting, now that you've done some?
I've always thought of myself as a physical actor, where I enter a character, I don't know if this is the right word, but through her physicality.
Okay. Yeah.
And so for me, so yes, I would say that I'm more of a film and TV actor than I am a voice actor. I don't have the same sort of like training. My vocal technique isn't anywhere, you know, those voice actors are insanely good. I feel like my forte comes with like more of like the physical work and the emotional work, but I do really like the whole performance capture of it. The idea that they're capturing my voice, they're capturing my physicality as well as my facial expressions. I think that's pretty wicked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think the motion capture helped your voice performance?
Oh yeah. Had this been just, I don't think I would have gotten the part if it was just voice.
Oh really?
I don't think so. I think, I don't think so. I don't think so, no. I mean, I found her voice, but I think I had her essence before I had her voice. Does that make any sense?
No, I get that, yeah.
I mean, they might say differently, but I don't think of myself as a voice actor. I think of myself more as like a dramatic, like, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider myself a comedic actor. I'm really more into the drama stuff. Like my whole, all of my credits, most of it's dramatic work.
So this was a very new experience for you.
This is very new. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just, you know, this is how I saw it. I'm like, okay, I got cast as Gamora. I'm scared shitless. I'm terrified. I can't go in because they're gonna smell it off me. Fear, you can smell fear. So I was like, I have to be fearless. I have to be a warrior like Gamora. I have to go in and pretend that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I literally just went in and I was like, okay, I'm here. But like dying inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say the kind of physical side, like you mentioned, like capturing a character's essence is how you get into character?
Oh yeah. When I get an audition, I always think about like, what does this character look like? So I think about hair, makeup, wardrobe, props, business, like the action in the scene, props, like what is it that's like, how do I find this character? Like, you know, is she fidgeting with something? You know, did she talk with her hands? Is she really still? That's how I get into character. And then I find the emotion. I very rarely think about voice.
Right.
I'm not someone who will change the way I speak for a role. I'll go at it from a physical, emotional aspect, and if it changes my voice, then that's sort of like a byproduct.
Obviously, this is quite a big role, and I think it's fair to say that every actor has a mixture of bigger roles and like smaller roles. I was wondering what is the experience like when it's just a very small role on a TV set or a film set compared to how it is when you're the star, for example?
That's so funny. I actually did a very small part yesterday for a friend's movie. The actress playing the part got snowed. We had like a massive snowstorm in many cities in Canada yesterday, and so she couldn't make it. And so they called me the night before, and they're like, "Can you come in tomorrow to play this part?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be there." And it was like 3 lines. I was on set, and the difference for me is when it's a smaller part, you kind of serve a purpose, and you're not necessarily moving the story along. You kind of have, you have a purpose, and you shouldn't really overthink it. Otherwise, you're doing the story a disservice. You kind of have to show up, know your purpose, know that you're here to support the main action, support the actors. And if you end up making it about you and upstaging, it kind of takes away. Whereas when you're leading, it sort of falls on your shoulders to, you're the person who needs to move the story along and also set the tone on set, you know? If you, for me, I take the responsibility to set the tone, where it's like, I want to be in a good mood, and I want to meet everyone and say hi and be kind and be professional, and you know, you're the leader in a way. You need to you need to lead the way, set an example. So I think that's the main difference. But you know, you should still approach your work with as much excitement and professionalism, and you know, acting is acting. Like yesterday, I was so happy to be on set. It's like my happy place. So it didn't really matter that I had 3 lines or 20, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been on some sets where I'm just like, why am I here? But I've also been a lead in movies, and I'm like, why am I here? So I think it's just working on stuff that's exciting to you, and then, you know, be the actor that you want to be. Like the same way when I was, you know, earlier in my career, I I had a very, very small part in Mirror Mirror with Lily Collins and Julia Roberts. I had a tiny part. I honestly can't, I don't think I saw myself in the film, but that's besides the point. But I learned so much because I had one line, 6 days on set with pros. And I got to watch how to do, like, this is how you learn. You're on set and you're looking at professional actors work their craft. And I didn't feel sorry. I wasn't like, oh, I just have one line. It's like, no, this is gold. Like, I get to learn from the best. And every time I've had an opportunity to be on set for a period of time, I did. I had another small role in Crimson Peak, Guillermo del Toro's film. And again, didn't even make the cut, but it's irrelevant because I got to spend a week on set with Guillermo del Toro, Jessica Chastain, Tom Hiddleston, and I just got to watch them work. Yeah. And it was such an amazing learning opportunity. So I don't think there's anything like a small role. There's no such thing.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that sounds amazing though. Like you said, you get all that experience and the experience of just being there. Like, must be great.
It is. It's amazing. Yeah. And it's all about perspective, right? If you choose to see it as a small role, that's all you'll get out of it. But if you see it as an experience and a learning opportunity, and you're a sponge, you're on set and you get to watch everything and learn how a movie set works, because there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you spent 6 days on a set for a line, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, think about it, because if it's usually it's for these big group scenes, so it takes like those big scenes, like, you know, ballroom scenes, and they have like 150 extras. Like, that's gonna take a couple of days. So I think I was in 2 scenes. One was like an outdoor scene with a lot of people, and then the other one was a ballroom scene. So it was 3 days each, or 4 and 2. And there was just like a lot of choreography and dancing and big camera moves. And, you know, I had one line that was off camera. But I was close to the main action. They hire professional actors to be in the front to lead the extras. Yeah. So at least we know what we're doing and they could just follow us. So it's happened twice for Mirror Mirror and Crimson Peak. And I love they were great opportunities. I had a lot of fun.